why we keep propping this woman up. She's now Man of the Year. You see, GQ magazine made her Man of the Year. Her stepfather was Woman of the Year.
Yeah. So, but did you see what I'm saying? Like, this is clearly...
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, I never thought that deep into the patriarchy until a few years ago. And I thought, well, you know, like, yeah, but if men... As long as women are strong and they're, you know, like running some things and doing a good job of running. No. It has to be men. You know why? What the difference between powerful women and powerful men is that men are logical. They do power with logic. Women do power with emotion. That, like, this is why we always talk about, so we believe in holding up the patriarchy. We think the patriarchy needs to be upheld and strong. But I think it's our society, and especially America today, is a matriarchal society. We can see it in the people. We can see it in the youth. We can see it in men. We can see it in women. We can see it in the government. We can see it's all kind of run emotionally. So we know that that is women, right? So I feel like because America has lost its handle on the patriarchy, leadership of men, I think that it birthed what we're seeing right now. That's my feelings, because I think, in my opinion, that men simply are supposed to be the ones who lead, you know, who lead us all in the right direction. It worked before with minor mishaps, and now we see what happens when men are not, you know, the patriarchy is not strong. Now we see that when that doesn't happen, America's a great experiment for this, because it shows you. I had a conversation with a guest that came into the hotel. He was from Saudi Arabia, and he was like, you know, you can always tell where a country is going by the leadership of the men in said country. And I said, well, that's a good point. And he was like, and he told me he's from Saudi Arabia. I said, oh, well, that's 100% patriarchal. You know, he says, so I'm from Saudi Arabia. Obviously, it's more a patriarchal thing. Things are in order, not without flaw. I know people come from me on that, but not without flaw. I'm just saying that's in order. He said, so we look at places like America or UK or something like that. You can see that society is being run by women because it's out of order, which means that men have dropped the ball in their own countries, right? And I would have to agree with that. And I agree with that.
I mean, even Bodhi Bacham said in the Bible, wherever a woman leads in the Bible, it's because of chaos.
Yeah,
it's because the world was in chaos at the time.
It's true.
And you're talking to a woman who doesn't even think women should vote. I would gladly give up my vote if we went back to the patriarchy.
People hate hearing that.
But honestly, that's the kind of person I am.
Republican women hate hearing us say that.
But so I think that the right to vote is what kind of started all this in the beginning.
I do too.
Because now what you did is you put men and women on equal footing.
Backtrack it.
If men were the only ones dying for this country, really, in the beginning anyways, that was the reason why they had the right to vote. You know, women, even after they had the right, weren't dying in wars for this country. It took a while to get to that point. You know what I mean? And to me, I just think that in order to be the lead, because I think men should lead our homes, lead cities, and lead the country. I think we're a stronger country. Not only just we are stronger, it's we look stronger when men are running the country. You know what I mean? We look weak now because we got LGBT in our military. You know what I mean? We got women on podiums at at political debates. You know what I mean? Like, what's her name? Nikki Haley the other day. Oh, you jerk. Yeah. Well, he's an asshole. It's just like only a woman would say something like that when she's surrounded by men. You're an asshole. Why are you getting all emotional about it? Why? Because you're a woman. And of course you're going to get emotional in a situation like this. That's why Hillary Clinton didn't win. She got all frustrated and flustered, and no one really likes her. Because no one really wants to see women act like that. Not even women. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think the WNBA still doesn't have anybody coming? All these feminists out here, nobody wants to go see these women play basketball. You know why? Because we don't really want to see us doing that.
Masculine.
You know what
things,
I mean? It's just talking. That's it. It's just rhetoric. Rhetoric is what kills most things, by the way. Rhetoric is what I mean. Most women don't really want to work. They would rather be at home, but they think they have to talk about this because they've been, consumed with, if you don't do it all, then you're not a real woman.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. Why do you think women want alimony? If you're such a strong woman,
Yeah.
and you want to leave her, then why do you need alimony?
Yeah,
Why do you need that man's money?
Well, these 6-figure women, you guys are talking always women. These women are ball busting business women, CEOs and moguls.
Let's
right?
see what you got then. Let's go.
They're always talking about, oh, you know, I make this much money, that much money, I have my Benz and blah 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 blah, all the things you have, and you got this credit score. You know, they're always going off on a tangent about how great they are. But once the divorce comes, oh, I'm gonna need the money.
Meanwhile, since women have left the home,
Really?
the government and the educational system has taken our children
Right.
and create a whole new crop of this.
And this is that's my point with saying all of this, is that I honestly believe that it's because we are in a matriarchal society. I think it's birthed this conversation, and I think that it's made Brian's. You know what I mean? Because when men let their give their power away like that, it does kind of, you can just see society falling apart, and it's just amazing to me. It's amazing to me because I never thought that deep into the patriarchy until a few years ago, and I thought, well, you know, like, yeah, but if men, as long as women are strong and they're, you know, like running some things and doing a good job of running, no, it has to be men. You know why? What the difference between powerful women and powerful men is that men are logical. They do power with logic. Women do power with emotion. And so because of that, I think that women should stop with the power stuff. And I think men should do their power thing that comes naturally to them. Because I think that is what makes society better, intact. I think we're organized. There's less crime. I mean, think about the times where the patriarchy in America was up and going good, you know, 50s, anytime before the 50s, you know, 50s, maybe 60s, early 60s and before. Things were in order. People were married. Black, I don't care what color you were. People were married. Kids were respectful.
Women
Teachers
and kids
were
safer.
normal. Teachers were not teaching weird things. You know why they weren't? Because the man of the house is saying, I want to make sure I know what you're teaching my kids. People
And also they knew the mother was home and she's come to that school.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't want, because I know people are going to be mad because I said I don't want women I don't want women to, I don't think women should work. But I mean, I think it should be mothers and wives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to be anything other than that, then you need not get married. That's just how I feel. I'm that black and white. I honestly think that that the right to vote, I know people are, that's what I meant. We're going to be mad at. The right to vote, the reason why I think women should not vote is because women vote for women's issues, but that's it. They don't vote for the bigger picture. Men are logical people by nature. Women are emotional. So they look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look good now, it's going to help us future-wise. That's how men think.
Yeah.
Women are emotional, so they only think about feelings for now. They don't care what it's going to look like 15 years from now because they want to feel good now. This is the reason why we have all of this. I believe we have all this problem is because men vote for the family. They vote for the country. Women vote for themselves. Everything is about abortion and women's rights and everything, but it has nothing to do with men, children, or just all about them. Not even children. Just all about them. Every time you see a woman voting, talking about what she's voting for, it's never about anything but herself.
They don't really even ever go into the foreign policy. They just stop with the domestic policy.
Right.
I know that when I see how society is right now, I can just see there are no men and there is not a wide spread of men in power. There are men in power, but I don't see it as being wide. And then some of the men that are in power, I care something about Biden. They're on the matriarchal. They're kind of like weak on the matriarchal
Because to me,
side.
those are Marxists. Those are people who are trying to create chaos. It's not, to them, it doesn't make a difference. It's not about, sit there and talk about black people getting reparations just to get everybody upset and mad at each other. They're not going to ever give it to you. They just say it. You know what I mean? And so they're to me, that's Marxism to me. Those are people who aren't on either side. They're just trying to create the chaos so they can take over their agenda. You know what I mean? Their agenda is wherever there's chaos, we can get in and take over. You know what I mean? And so you're going to get Marxism with women run the country because women just can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? And if it ever does happen, God help us all. You know what I mean? It's just not a thing. So to me, when I see like panels like this, whenever I see this on my screen and I see these, or like my feed and I see this, I go right past it because I know the conversation is going to be. It's going to be dumb-witted women who are young, inexperienced, and haven't lived life, and it's going to be some beta male or some guy who thinks he's, Kevin Samuels, wannabes,
getting off on these women.
Andrew, what's his name? Andrew Tate wannabes, trying to up these women, and it's so easy. You know what I mean? The day that I see women that have a biblical perspective, or the days that I see women who understand, who are as logical as a woman can be, you know what I mean? I feel like I am a very emotional person, but on some level, I have a little bit of logic because I understand that my power is only so great. There are some things that I cannot control in life, and some things I don't want to by nature. And I just think that these women have been so completely, I feel bad for them because I think they've just been completely brainwashed. Like this one here at the end, my parents had a common law marriage. Well, that explains her.
Yeah.
When I look at certain people on TV, or when I ever, watch regular TV, which is never, you know what I mean? But whenever I get a glimpse of, I watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. That's the last time I watched because I always watch that. And that's becoming more and more woke. If I see, all these women empowerment, last year
in
dresses.
Yeah, last year Mrs. Claus was drag.
And this year she's black.
Mrs. Claus is black this year.
You know what I mean? It's just like, you just keep it up. First of all, I don't remember when Mrs. Claus was even seen on the floor.
Yeah,
all of a sudden we keep showing her.
Different
you know what I mean? She wasn't part of the big show anyway. You know what I mean? But my thing is that when people want to ask what's wrong in the world, just turn on TV. And you'll see what's exactly wrong with the world. It's what we keep propping up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kim Kardashian is barely 40, and she's been married 3 times.
I think she is past 40.
Past 40 now. She's had 4 kids. She's been married 3 times. That is a joke. And why we keep propping this woman up? She's now Man of the Year. You see, GQ magazine made her Man of the Year. They also, I think, it's this idea that we are doing this. Her stepfather was Woman of the Year.
Yeah. So, but did you see what I'm saying? Like, this is clearly...
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Chad Prather, I was watching the other day. He's on The Blaze. But, he's the country guy with the... right? But he has a show. And he did a car, thing the other day. And he was talking about, it said, "Where are the real men?" That was the heading. And he just started talking about the fact that because he has kids. And he said, I started to realize how weak we as people, men and women, have become in this world that we have allowed the internet to really run our lives. But then I was thinking that what did they say? Young men 18 to 25 are addicted to porn. Yeah. And the reason why they are addicted to porn is the same reason he was saying that they're addicted to they're scared of hard work. Is because we stopped interacting together. So men don't know how to approach women no more because everything became the internet. Yeah. So now they have this barrier. It's just screens. Yeah. But when you have to come in contact with people, it changes things. And men have stopped coming in contact with women. They just do it online, and that's it. Women do it too. You know what I mean? So
everybody's digital.
Everybody's digital.
It's like I always say that we became, with all the internet and all stuff, we become so connected that we're disconnected. Because of the introduction of internet and now with social media, we're so connected to each other. We are. But because of that, we are in extreme physical, disconnect where we can't have proper conversations anymore. We don't know how to properly behave. You go to, like, we were just talking about my mom. We were with our mom having coffee or wherever we're going. Remember we were going and we're like, everywhere you go, you see people hanging out together, like they're all like this on their phones. No one's looking at each other. It can be a whole group of people. And when we go out, like we don't...
I didn't bring my...
we don't even look at our phone.
We have to call somebody.
But we never look at our phones. We just enjoy the fact that if I'm with somebody, I don't care about this. I like human interaction. I like to actually talk to people. And I think there's people like Brian that's been so engulfed. Now it's in real life now. He's just been looking at the internet and looking at all the probably red pill stuff. Probably been going nuts with this red pill stuff. It's got him scared. I must cuss too. It got him scared to death about for women and marriage and all that kind of stuff. And I don't see the point.
The thing is, what I think Chad Prather, what he was trying to make his point was, is that whatever he was doing with his kids, he realized he needed to interact more with his kids. Because he used to do it with, I guess, with his dad. And the thing is that's true. We are not interacting with kids anymore. We're distracting them.
Yeah.
Because we're distracted with the same thing, the internet. You know what I mean? And that thing is, the internet's completely changed the way that we do everything.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Yeah.
There are some good things where the internet does it right, but there are a lot of there are a lot of bad things that are on here that are making men into beta males. This is the reason why so many young men are addicted to porn, because they don't really know how to, like our grandfather stuff, walk up to a woman and have to take the rejection.
There's men now. I'm sorry. There's men now where if a woman rejects them, these men have been attacking women that would get rejected. There used to be a time where men were prepared for the no or whatever. You know what I mean? And now it's like men don't want to do. They don't even want to go up to. They prefer women to come up to them. It's just easier because everything is just easy.
And that's how you know that this is a matriarchal society.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're also feelings.
I know.
Even now, men, they're just in their feelings all the time. You know what I mean? And so I thought what Chad was saying was absolutely true, because he was saying that I don't want my son to turn into this. You know what I mean? Because I decided to distract him with phones and stuff. You know, you got to put the phones down, go out, chop some wood, do some manual stuff with your son, build his ego up, or not ego, but just build him up so that he feels like he can do stuff. Build a house, build a cabin, do something out there that makes you have to do. Was it you that told me this, or? I think it is. You said Joe Rogan told The Rock the other day that people need to do stuff that's hard.
I would just say people don't do things. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
And it's true. Yeah, people need to do things that are hard.
And people don't do that anymore because it flusters people. Hard work makes people feel like they're literally wasting their time. Isn't that crazy?
And marriage can be hard because you have to you have to keep this union going till you're dead.
Yeah.
And so don't think that that little shot of adrenaline of love is going to be this way for the rest of your life. You're going to have moments where you can't stand each other. But that doesn't mean you bail out. And Michael Knowles was absolutely right, because we've said this before on our show, that to me, like what he was trying to say, everything is so hard, I'm afraid, I don't want to do this. But there is no freedom in just doing whatever you want.
Yeah, there's not.
So he thinks he's going to have freedom because he never gets
married. Which is what Michael was
married.
trying to tell him.
And that's not freedom. Just like overeating isn't freedom. Just like not working out isn't freedom. Just like not going to work isn't freedom. Spending all your money isn't freedom. It becomes bondage after a while. What is that? What we're just saying about the young guys who are addicted to porn. It then becomes bondage because now you can't stop. Yeah. Smoking weed becomes bondage. Just doing whatever you want. The devil will use that to keep you in bondage. And people think that discipline and having to stick with something and deal with the hard parts of life is somehow, I want to be happy all the time. That is unrealistic. Right. And that's not what life's about. God did not say that your whole life was going to be you being happy every single day.
Well, that's what I think that's what people like him, though, is they're trying to create this utopia idea of, relationship. But I was watching this this Man on the Street interview with this guy was asking, what is it about? I'm going to try to find that clip. I'm trying to find it. I'll put it up if I find it. But this Man on the Street interview who's asking this Indian man, what is it about American that you absolutely hate? That you just cannot stand about America?
What's one thing about America that you just do not like compared to India?
Cultures things.
Yeah.
Like family, culture, the marriage, the relationship wise. In India, we love somebody, we try to live and marry one person for lifetime. But in US, they change woman or man like a cloth. We want to sacrifice. Yeah. We need something, we want to sacrifice. Yeah. But in this country, they don't sacrifice.
In America, if something goes wrong, you just get a divorce. I feel like in India, a lot of it is arranged marriages, but then some aren't, right? Because they understand the idea of marriage in the religious sense. And he's like, they like to have longevity with just one person and no outside kids. So they keep it all there.
And that's the way it's supposed
it's
to
supposed to be. And I feel like that's how we should. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I knew two twins that were Indian that in New York, and their dad passed away, but their mom they do arranged marriage.
Yeah.
But one of the girls, she gave them the choice. They could find their own because they lived in America, or she would help them find. And one found somebody on her own.
Yeah.
The other one wanted the arranged marriage. So we always think of arranged marriages as some sort of bondage thing, but no, sometimes not. Sometimes they look at that as one less thing they have to worry about because that person is going to be married into the family, not just them. And so they want to make sure that they get along with the family, that there's that there's not going to be any issues. There's some pluses to arranged marriages because let's keep it real, America doesn't do well in marriage, and we do it the other way.
Well, arranged marriage also, because I know quite a few people in arranged marriages. I remember talking to the woman that I know, and she said the thing with arranged marriages that we like is that it's based in respect first. And I thought,
yes,
wow, that's exactly what it should be here, right? Because what we do is we start with love first. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, guys. I know we're American, and I love love. So I'm that person. I love love. That respect is what, to me, I feel like is a very key, a big key component in people sticking together. And when you just do that that like la la land pie in the sky kind of love all the time, you think it's always going to be love and we're romance and we're hanging. It's not always going to be that.
That's Hollywood.
It's not always going to be
real.
that. I like the respect part.
But that's it. I could never marry anyone I didn't have full respect for.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that guy on this, he's not someone you have respect for. He doesn't have a backbone.
No.
He's sinking in his chair.
He's crossing his arms.
And he doesn't have any real manly respect. And this is, again, men are becoming this. They're becoming this sort of shell of themselves. And they're becoming women whining all the time about what's not working for them. And that's not what men were. It's not the men who ran this country, the men who created this country. They didn't, and even the women.
Yeah.
Because women also, they were helpmates to their husbands, but they didn't sit there and whine and cry about every last thing. Sometimes you do what you do because you got to do it. That's the commitment. You have to have follow through in life.
Well, the commitment is another part of it.
Yeah.
Commitment, discipline, respect. These are all things for a relationship. Again, not a dating coach. I'm not a relationship counselor. Okay. But I'm just saying that it just makes so much sense to me, even as a single person. Where I might have went, personally, okay, it's about me personally, where I might have gone wrong in my previous relationships, right? Because I was banking on just that love feeling. I used to think that love was the thing that is going to keep you bonded together. So love is kind of like that, I guess would be some type of foundation there because you don't you shouldn't lose that love. But I think that when it comes to longevity, it is respect and commitment. Actual discipline and commitment to this person, that you're going to be, loyal, and you're going to be faithful, and thick and thin, rich or poor, sickness and health. Okay, like I'm talking about that type of stuff. You have to really think about. People don't really think about the vows either.
I was like this guy years ago. That's the reason why I'm not married. Is because I did not take because men did change. But honestly, I wasn't not getting married because of men. I knew there was something wrong with me.
Yeah.
He's blaming it on women.
Right.
I knew that there was something wrong with me, mostly because I didn't have a father to show me what kind of men to date. I didn't have any faith growing up, and I didn't have the example of marriage at all. All I had was either single motherhood or divorce. And so to me, I didn't feel like I was. I didn't think that I would be a good wife or find a good man because I didn't think that I was in the right headspace. And I knew that. So I thought, I don't want to be a single mother, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Because I do not want my children to be raised like me, without a dad. I think fathers are very, very, very important. And I think men don't really realize how important they are in the life of their children.
We're kind of
a lot of times.
we're you guys say nice kind things about us. However, I will say that we are the product of not having a father, and so while I'm proud of who I am now and all that, I'm fine with that. You have to understand that there were years of trying to fix myself, like of understanding. I just had no understanding of men in relationships. I did not understand any of it. So I did everything wrong. You know, and this is why we always talk so highly about fathers and having them real good fathers in the home, because I think that's going to cut a lot of this mess out, and people will start getting married again at 22. You know what I mean? Like normal ages. You know what I mean? Like normal, like normalcy will come back to it. You know,
I believe in young marriage.
I do.
I believe in having children very young. I wanted to be a mother at 18.
That's why it's upsetting. Look at these girls.
It makes
Very
me
young.
sad that I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it just. I was raised in the feminist era. I was raised by a single mother. I was raised by single women. I was raised by people who got divorced in our family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't raised in church. So I did not know, I didn't have a clue of what I was supposed to do.
Like,
You know
what
what
is
I
that? But yeah, when people always go,
I
you know, but the concept, like the concept of marriage didn't even make sense to me, and I had a whole ring on my finger. Like I was engaged. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what does this mean? What are you talking about? Marriage.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you've never seen it, it is kind of like this foreign, weird thing where am I going to be able to commit the rest of my life? Are you, like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But I believe that I would have, I mean, like in retrospect, when I think about it, I think that if I had a more of a biblical kind of like, my life was kind of set up in a more biblical fashion, I feel like I would have understood commitment, discipline, and loyalty in a different way.
Yeah, my mother taught our mother taught us a lot of great things.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, manners. She made us kind of cultural.
Yeah,
you know, manners, but she couldn't teach us how to be a wife because she wasn't.
Yeah.
My grandmother was divorced, her mom, from my grandfather.
And then her
you know
mother.
what I mean? And so, and all my aunts are single.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we never got any kind of, and our father was gone. So we never got any, no one ever told us what to look for.
Right.
Or who to be.
Yeah.
And so we kind of were just fish out of water. We're just like, okay, well, we want to get married, but you know what I mean? So you date. That's where you start, you know, and then you date. I dated a lot of hurtful men in my early 20s. Not a lot, but you know, like enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Enough hurt that it hurt me too much to date. And but see, if I had a father or it had God or something, then I could have say, oh, that's comes with the process. You might get hurt.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have sex.
But it gets
But
confusing.
you don't know that if no one's telling you that, and you just look at everybody else around you. The world will train you if your parents don't. So if the world does it, that's not good. Nope. The world will screw you up. You know what I mean? And this is why I am so heavy on women not voting and the patriarchy, because and also people being biblical, is because I think that when we were in that space, we were a much better country, and our households were better, our children were better. We had more of a future to look forward to. Now it just seems like all we hear about are people who are upset all the time. They're mad about, women are mad about rights they already have. Black people are mad about rights that they already have.
Women are fighting for rights right now.
Gay people are mad about rights they already have.
I love how everybody is fighting for rights they already have.
They already have.
You already have those rights,
You know what I mean? And it's just constant going on and being egged on. And then if that's not enough, then we have these dumb celebrities who make us think that this is how we're all supposed to adult or aspire to be.
And remember, celebrities shape culture.
They do.
You know, they do.
You know what I mean? Or you watch these shows, and all it is bitter men talking to dumb women. Or then it's feminist women trying to talk about how they don't need a man. It's
you know, you guys, we're really
crazy.
We're really tough on women like this too. Like I know you guys watched a few of our shows before, but when we talk about women like this, we're tough on women like this, and I also have a high level of compassion for women like this in a different way that people won't understand. Because a lot of times people, especially men, will be like, I don't have any compassion for these women. They hit a wall and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. That's coming from that perspective, but you have to understand when you're a woman who sees the mess up happening in real time, I can see, I have compassion for even these women up here because they're either playing dumb or are dumb. I don't care which one it is, but they're doing that. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're being led by this weird world of feminism that is not real. It's not a thing. It's not a thing, but they're being led off a cliff with it, you know? And I'm looking at them in real time and I'm saying, wow, well, you know, they're being dumb and they don't even see it. But you know what? I have compassion for that because I know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it. And it's just a sad thing to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, there's so many things, you guys, I learned late in life. It's not This is not something that I had some epiphany when I was 24 or 30. No, 35. No. Like, I didn't get this epiphany until much later in my 30s. You know what I mean? And I don't want women to get into this epiphany at 37, 40. I don't want that to happen for them. I want young women to get the memo early so they don't go on the whatever, I'm not cussing you, the whatever podcast looking dumb. I don't
We
want
all
it to
have
happen.
dumb moments, so when I call them dumb, I've been dumb.
I'm talking about
That
literally.
doesn't mean I'm stupid,
Yeah.
like I don't know things.
But I'm talking about literally
But I have
when I say
been
that.
dumb in my life.
I have
you know
too.
what I mean? And the thing is there is a reason why women are targeted first. It's because we're easily influenced. It's like I read some of those comments that were going on while Michael Knowles was talking, and here we got men just talking about these girls. When do you start placing it on your life? That's what they were saying. That I was watching Pastor Anthony and Virgil and them talk to Jason Whitlock. Jason was all about hating the matriarchy.
Yeah.
And he's right. There are a lot of things I can't stand when women speak because they just say the dumbest things. But the pastors were like, no. He's just like, no, we were in charge. We are. If we call ourselves the head, then the only way this can be a mess is because we fell off somewhere. And this is not new for us. This has happened throughout history. Whenever men get off their stuff, women take over and they mess up everything. And then we got to come back and fix it all up again. And he's like, so don't be so quick to blame women, because if you're saying that women are helpmates, then what you're saying is that you're either saying they're in charge or they're not.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you with the Saudi Arabian
Right.
guy that I talked about. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that he was saying that if a country is weak, it's because it is the patriarchy has fallen off in that country. I got the lesson. Like I said before, though, I learned the lesson. I learned what I'm learning now. Late. You see what I'm saying? I learned it late. As I'm trying. That's why we're doing like these videos when we talk about particularly subjects like this, because I really don't want women to do this, and men.
But I don't want men either.
But men either.
Jason
but
Whitlock
women
talks about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He talks about being 56 years old and not
It's
being
not
married.
right.
He said, I let the world run me. And he said, and the difference between, he said the difference between me and a lot of people is that I was raised in the church. And he's just like, and I ignored all that because I got all this fame and I got all this materialism. And he said that it took me away from having kids. It took me away from getting married. There were 2 women he said he should have married. He didn't do it because he was too busy, going through all these women in Hollywood. That's why he had to leave Hollywood and move to Nashville.
I don't like things out of order, and I think that that's happened because we've become soft society. You know what I mean? And we're soft on everything. We've been talking a lot about marriage, obviously, with this subject, but this is about everything in society. It's so off right now. I need to ask this girl
Like I
question.
said, GQ gave Kim Kardashian Man
What
of
is
the Year.
that?
It's
crazy. I don't know.
The sports world gave her stepfather the Woman of the Year, and he's a Republican.
Yeah.
You understand? We have Nikki Haley on the Republican stage talking to a bunch of men, calling Vivek an a-hole because she didn't like his comeback, which was true.
Yeah.
Telling him to stay off of TikTok while her daughter does it.
Right.
That's a valid comeback for Vivek. But instead of her answering the question, he's such an a-hole.
It's like, okay.
That's such a woman thing to say, and this is the reason why I don't like women in politics at all, because it just it takes everything out of order. It puts women up. I love Carrie Lake. I don't want to vote for her.
Yeah.
But if I have to, because everybody else is between her and Katie Hobbs, and I have no choice but women, then I'm going to vote for the more conservative woman because at least she stands on some values of mine.
But I really don't think that women should be in charge of things. I
No.
don't. And you know what, guys, again, I was saying before that there are conservative Republican women that hate when we say that. So I'm not just talking, it's not just Democrats that would be mad at us saying this. I'm talking about, this is a very, I guess it would be rare, stand on something. Like I really believe that, and I know that it's, to a lot of people, it's cringy to a lot of women specifically, but I just believe that we would be better. I think our society will be better. I stand like firm with Phyllis Schlafly.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know we did a video about Phyllis Schlafly because I think she's just wonderful. I'll put a link if you guys want to see that video, but I love her because I felt like, yeah, that's exactly right, Phyllis. She is completely logical to me. And
See how they keep her away?
they keep you know, yeah,
They don't.
right.
They don't. They keep Thomas Sowell away.
keep
You know,
him away.
they're out
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
you gotta find them.
Yeah, you gotta
but you're never
dig
gonna hear
through.
Phyllis. You're not gonna hear Thomas Sowell,
Yeah,
Walter
none of
Williams.
them.
You gotta look for Robert Woodson. You know, you gotta. You know,
You gotta really
you
dig
gotta really
through.
dig for people who make sense.
Right.
Everybody else gets to. You know, you hear The Rock all the time, or you're gonna hear Joe
Oprah.
Rogan, Oprah. You get all these people, LeBron James, but you never get these people who actually make some sense
Right.
and virtually came from those time periods. This world is easily curable, but it's the mind.
Yeah.
It's how they get you up here.
Guys, let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And that's it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.